Okay, everybody, let's look at part 2. I'm starting at the bottom of page 105. Of the very bottom, you'll see it says verbs, a word that's necessary to express action or a state of being, and is necessary to make a statement. You can't have a sentence without a verb. And here is a little cartoon that I created a few years ago, creating a character named Vernon Verb. And again, the next chapter that we do, we're going to hear more about Vernon and how he acts in a sentence. But even now, we need to know that verbs can be action verbs or linking verbs. And here you see Vernon is a man of action. He's moving, or he's simply being. And we'll find out more what that's all about here in a minute. Okay, there again, action or linking, transitive or intransitive. Verbs can also come in phrases of more than one word, and that is the essence of this section. We have action verbs, linking verbs. Action verbs can be transitive or intransitive, and all verbs can come in phrases of more than one word. So that's the essence here of what we're going to be going over. On page 106, you see action verbs discussed. Read that carefully. And you can see that we can have physical or mental action, as it tells us right under action verbs. But looking just at transitive verbs always have an object. They're transferring action in some way. For instance, Bubba hit the possum. The word hit is, of course, the verb, but then possum is the thing that was hit, so it is the object, the direct object, we call it. Doreen curled her hair. Curled, of course, is the verb, and hair would be the thing that was curled. So a transitive verb is simply a verb that transfers action. It has an object to it, and you can see more examples there on page 106. At the bottom of 106, you'll see intransitive verbs. They don't have an object. PJ ran quickly. Well, he ran, and then we have the adverb quickly following it, but it's not like he ran the ball or ran something. He just ran, so it has no object, and that's what we call intransitive. Same thing with worked. We're not saying they worked. I don't know what they would work, but in other words, there's nothing following the word worked. It's just there's an adverb there to tell how hard they worked, but it is not conveying action to an object, so it's intransitive. So read page 106 carefully, and then try your hand at page 107. Again, try the first 3, check your answers, see how you did, and see if you need to go on and do more of those, or get a little help if you don't quite get transitive and intransitive, but it should click pretty quickly. Okay, another kind of verb, linking verb on page 108. They don't show action. That's where we have Vernon just kind of sitting there and just being. In fact, forms of the verb to be are the most common linking verbs. PJ is cool. He just is. There's no action there. He just is. Mr. Peterson seems nice. Seems is just a state of being. So there's another word that's often used as a linking verb. But the forms of the verb to be are the ones that are most often used as linking verbs. You can see a list there and a fuller explanation on page 108. Verb phrases, simply reminding you on page 108 and going into page 109 that verbs can consist of more than one word. And we have a whole list of the auxiliary verbs. She may be finished. You see the sentence at the bottom. May be finished is the verb. Already is the adverb that's just kind of stuck there in the middle. So verb phrases can often be separated, and you see more examples of that on page 109. Could he have forgotten? There we have the actual pronoun, the subject of the sentence, that's in the middle of this verb phrase. So read that carefully, and then practice page 109 and 110. This goes over everything about verbs. I would suggest that you try at least 5 of these. Check your answers and then see if you need to do the next 5. Let me know if you're having any problems.